justice. And we're here today because, and it's not just us, there's actually about 70 other parents walking around the LOB right now delivering these checks to state senators, asking those senators to sign these checks, because this check is made out for $4.6 billion to New York's millionaires. This check here is for Senator Dean Skelos, the majority leader, to sign, because the Senate majority is prioritizing in their budget proposal tax cuts for millionaires over protecting our school kids. And so if the senators are saying that that the millionaires of New York need a tax cut more than the need to invest in our education and our schools, then this is we're saying, then go on the record, sign this check. On the flip side of these checks is another check that's voided, okay? And this check is made out for $1.5 billion to New York's public school students. This is the budget cut the governor's proposed. Now, the two houses of the legislature have proposed to put back about 1/6 of this cut in their one-house budgets. That's not good enough. Putting back 1/6 of the largest cut in state history is plain and simply not going to get the job done for our kids. That's why we're saying that we need the millionaire's tax to be renewed, and the cuts in our kids' education, we need significant restorations. These budgets, the way we have them now, are not going to get it done. We're here joined, I'm Billy Easton. I'm the Executive Director of the Alliance for Quality Education. Karen Scharf is the Executive Director of Citizen Action of New York.
And we're here today with parents from all over the state. We've got people all spread out over the whole legislative office building delivering these checks this afternoon to make sure that senators understand what they're really doing to our schools. They're voiding that $1.5 billion that our schools desperately need to educate our kids, and instead giving a check of $4.6 billion to the millionaires, the wealthiest people in New York State, who don't need it, haven't asked for it, and are not going to benefit by it. Instead, that money really needs to go to our schools to benefit our school kids so that our kids can get the quality education they need so New York can have a successful economy and be competitive in the future. Our kids need to be able to go to college, get into jobs, and that means they need to have a quality education every day in their schools. This cut, the biggest in the history of New York State, is leading to layoffs in districts all across the state. We're looking at as much as potentially 18,000 teachers laid off or jobs lost because of this tax cut to millionaires. That's why we're here today, going to every Senate office in the building to make sure they understand the real impact of their decisions.
So, we have a couple parents who are going to speak on Gail Gadsden.
Hi, good evening. I think it's very unfair for the governor to use the children as an excuse of them not being able to get a full and a good and a great education, because it's a child's right to get a good education. Millionaires should be taxed. Kids should not be cheated out of something that is their right to get. It's like serving them a plate with a not full meal on it. Just don't serve them vegetables, but it comes with the other elements to complete a dinner, and that's what they're doing to education. Give our children the full meal. Give them the full education that they deserve and they earn. Millionaires should not cheat the children out of what they have. Our children deserve the best, and we will not stand for any less. The governor needs to examine and restore the cuts.
And we also have from Albany, Kristen Barron, parent whose kids have graduated from the Albany Public Schools. Kristen?
Hi, thank you. Hi, my name's Kristen Barron. My two daughters graduated from the Albany Public School and did very well at Albany High, and went on to higher education, one at SUNY, one at Bard. My youngest is now in graduate school, and they did very well in college because of the great start they got at Albany High. And I want all Albany kids to get the opportunities that they got at school. So I strongly support Albany schools as a community member and want everybody to feel part of that, and hope these cuts don't happen, because we need the good schools in Albany.
With us here today to speak is Jose Gonzalez from the Bronx. Jose Gonzalez.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jose Gonzalez. I live in New York City. And I think it's not fair, and we're here to let them know, the governor and also the legislator, that they need to think about our children. $1.5 billion is not fair to cut for education and to take our resources from our children, like math, reading programs, also sport, also teachers, art. I think it's not fair, and we want to know what is the message that the governor and the legislator are giving to our community, but also to our children. What is the message? What are we thinking about their future? And what we're here to stand up with community members, with children, with everyone who is really concerned how impact is going to have this budget cut in our neighborhood, in our school. Lack of resources is not preparing children for college and career. And we ask the government, we ask the legislators to stand up for our children and protect our children, not millionaires. They must restore this, renew this legislation, the tax millionaire legislation that will bring the money and the resources that our children need in our school to succeed for college and career. Thank you.
Thank you, Jose. Just to wrap up again, and then we'll be happy to take any questions. Again, there's about 70 other parents who are already in the legislative office building delivering these checks, asking senators, if you want to cut taxes for millionaires, and the way you're going to finance that tax cut is by cutting funding for our children's schools, then sign the check. Sign your name. This one here is to Senate Majority Leader Dean Skelos to sign his name, a tax cut for millionaires. Let's be clear. If this tax cut goes through, then the highest tax rate for an individual in New York State starts at $20,000. That means a convenience store clerk making $10 an hour will be in the same tax bracket as Donald Trump. I don't think that makes any sense, and the only way you're going to finance that kind of a tax cut for the wealthiest New Yorkers is by slashing funding for education. The Assembly wants to renew the millionaire's tax. We need the Senate to do the same. We need the governor to do the same. Happy to take any questions.
Billy, in New York are the people who need jobs and good schools. If we have good jobs and good schools, we're going to have a successful state. We're going to have people staying in New York. If we cut our schools to finance a millionaire's tax, we're not going to lose any millionaires. We're going to lose the rest of New Yorkers, the middle class New Yorkers, who need good jobs and good schools.
The governor just released a message through satellite where he basically said, "I'm standing firm. I'm ready to have a government shutdown if that's necessary to get what I want, and it'll just be temporary."
Well,
in response to that,
I don't know why the governor is making threats and posturing in that way. If the governor would have forced a government shutdown, it seems that he would then have to explain to the people of New York that his priority in forcing a government shutdown is to extract larger school cuts in order to finance tax cut for millionaires. I think that's a hard argument for him to make, and to play such a high-stakes game just does not make sense. We have better ways to do this. We're still expecting an on-time budget, but we need it to be a good budget that keeps this tax in place. It's irrational to throw $4.5 billion in revenue out the window in a fiscal crisis.
Protect our kids, not millionaires.
Protect our kids, not millionaires. Protect our kids, not millionaires.